Merry Christmas, you guys. Here we are, day 3, December 15th. I just put another log on the fire. Feeling nice and cozy on this December evening or day. Here we are on day 3 for the 12 Drams of Christmas by Blue Collar and Scholar Whiskey Club. I hope you guys are enjoying it so far. For those of you that purchased kits, for those of you that missed out and didn't get kits this time around, we'll do this again next year, and just keep an eye out for that email and jump on it because it sells out pretty quickly. I would have liked to have done second bottles, but I just, well, to be honest, some of these whiskeys I couldn't get second bottles of. So anyway, here we go. Pull up a chair, grab your Glencairn. Oh, I didn't have my Glencairn. Hold on one sec. It's unlike me to be not prepared, not to have a Glencairn at arm's reach at all times. So there it is. Okay, and then go have a look at your Christmas tree for day 3. There it is. It's so fun to just sort of search for the drams on the tree. Look at all the old ornaments from Christmases past. Okay, here we go. Pour dram number 3. There it is in the glass. A little bit lighter, more of a straw color than the 2 previous whiskeys. And now we will nose. Oh. This is an interesting dram. Very light, very fruity. I'm getting grape, green apple, pear, a little bit of orange peel zest. But there's also like a buttery pastry note on the nose. This one's very interesting. Gotta tickle up my nose. There's also some light spicy notes in there too from whatever wood this whiskey lived in for a while. Excuse me. Ugh. Something up my nose. Okay. Now we'll go for palate. Oh, wow. Incredibly soft, creamy in texture. I get light toffee notes. And like a fragrant perfume, like floral note in there. And then there's that red apple and pear, like candied. Wow. Can't get over how creamy and smooth this whiskey is. delicious. Superb whiskey. The finish is quite short. It's not a super long, lingering finish, but that's okay. But the finish is sweet and clean and crisp. There's a bit of a lingering perfume that kind of lingers. Yeah, wow. Not like the last whiskey. Very, very different, but so delicious, so good. In a way, like it's not really your typical, what you would consider a Christmas dram. This one is very light and fruity, make a beautiful summertime dram, but at the same time, there's still those fruits in there, and there's that sort of buttery pastry that kind of reminds you of Christmas baking as well. Yeah, and now for the reveal. This is a super special whiskey, and I was really looking forward to sharing this one with you guys and exploring it with you. So yeah, day 3, December 15th. Whiskey is Cardew 14-year-old, special release 2021. And look at the artwork on that tube. Isn't that beautiful? Yeah, so this is one of those, every year Diageo does a special release of whiskeys. Usually here in BC they're released during the spirits release in November, although sometimes they're a year behind. So you'll get the 2021 whiskey this year and the 2021 year before. But this was another one that a good friend of mine who's actually part of the tasting, the 12 Drams, Mr. Steve Campbell from Calgary. He found this one for me and snagged it, and when I went to Calgary I picked it up and brought it home to share with you guys. It's going to talk to you a little bit about the bottle and the tube, and then we'll go on to talk a little bit about the distillery and the dram itself. So it says here, Cardew, aged 14 years, special release 2021. Lush and floral Scotch, blooming with honeyed layers, finished in wine casks. So that's where you're getting those fruity notes, I suspect. It's bottled at 55.5% ABV. And you'll notice on the tube, you see that big, bright, beautiful oak tree. I'm assuming that's an oak. On the back it says, "The scarlet blossoms of Black Rock. Our fable goes upon a hill of blackened rock grew a mysterious tree with scarlet blossoms of irresistible charm. The sweet aroma of honeycomb and spice was so alluring. It transformed the dark hill into lush abundance. Where crimson petals had fallen, a distillery took root. The spellbinding scent filled the air, infusing Cardew with its distinctively enchanting character. Gallic whispers of Black Rock Cardew shapeshifted into the eternal Cardew today. Conjured within the misty eminence of Mannock Hill, the spirit beckons with familiar allure. Perhaps it's the signature of pioneer Helen Cumming, who deft and delicate hand distilled an illicit whiskey by the cloak of darkness." Talk about that in just a minute here. Today, a mystic magnetism still exudes from every drop. In this golden malt, white grape lychee aromas frolic with melodious fruits and meadow flowers. Composed in wine-seasoned wood, it has heather-honeyed sweetness. Fragrantly, it charms with creamy, smooth texture and perfume taste. Enriched by lush red berries, smoother still with water, the finish carries a pinch of white pepper. Like a single bloom, this Cardew is remarkable to behold. So there's the story. They're pretty good at spinning a tale. And there's the bottle. I've always liked this distillery, Cardew. It has a lot of really cool history. Um, Cardew's Speyside Distillery near Moray, Scotland. It was founded in 1824 by a whiskey smuggler, John, and his wife Helen Cumming. Um, the sort of famous story behind it is so as you saw heard in the description on the back of the tube, they talked about Cardew meaning Black Rock in Gaelic. So the distillery used to be high on this hilltop. So there was many other distilleries in the area that could see the distillery, and Helen used to sell the whiskeys to people passing by when it was still illicit, before it was legal. Whenever the tax collector, excisemen used to come by, or whenever they used to come by, basically checking to see if anyone was doing anything illegal, she would invite them in, cover herself in flowers to make it look like she was baking and running a bakery, to explain the smells of the distillery. And then she would put a flag up. So she would hoist this flag while these people were here visiting, to sort of notify all the other distillers in the area to put their stuff away, because it was a warning, so to speak. So they had each other's back. Anyway, nowadays it's owned by Diageo, obviously, as I said. And this particular whiskey for the Diageo brand is a very important part of the Johnnie Walker blended whiskey. So if you like Johnnie Walker, there's a good portion of Johnnie Walker whiskey comes from Cardew Distillery. Yeah, and so that's essentially it. It's a beautiful whiskey. Started out its life in ex-bourbon barrels and then finished in wine casks. I was super happy to share this one with you guys, and for those of you, I hope you enjoyed it. Anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Cheers.